Hello, I'm Christian from the Communities team at the National Football Museum. The museum's collection is packed with the history of the game of our lives. In this video, we're talking great exports, 11 museum objects related to British footballers abroad. Our first object is this painting of a football match in Milan in 1908 by artist Chris Jennings, depicting a team wearing blue and black playing a team wearing red and black after Inter Milan formed following a split with AC Milan. The connection between the city's oldest football club, AC Milan, and English football is the first English footballer to play abroad, Herbert Kilpin. Born in Nottingham, Kilpin moved to Italy for work in 1891. By 1898, Kilpin settled in Milan and founded AC Milan with fellow English expat Alfred Edwards. Kilpin served as player-manager, winning the club's first 3 league titles in his 9 years at the Rossoneri. Several top European and world clubs were formed by British expats, and many found early success with British managers too. Our second object belonged to one such manager, an England cap belonging to Sam Wadsworth. Wadsworth's remarkable story from First World War veteran to England international is one we'll explore further in a later First 11 episode. But after his playing career, he found managerial success in the Netherlands, managing PSV Eindhoven twice, winning the Dutch Cup in 1950 and the league title in 1951. Arguably British football's greatest ever export is the subject of our third object. The gentle giant of Swansea voted Juventus's greatest foreign player, John Charles. Juve paid Leeds United a then record £65,000 for Charles in 1957, and his 5 seasons delivered 3 Scudettos and 2 Coppa Italias. Charles bagged 108 goals and became a legend in Turin before returning to Leeds in 1962. The success of John Charles at Juventus would lead to more Football League stars moving to Italy, most famously Denis Law and Jimmy Greaves. The most successful player, however, features in our fourth object, this Topical Times football book from 1962. In this annual, we can read all about the recent transfer to Italy of Gerry Hitchens, an often overlooked English success abroad. Following 2 goals against Italy in only his second England appearance, Hitchens was snapped up by Inter, where he finished top scorer in his first season. Spells at Torino, Atalanta and Cagliari followed. His 8 seasons in Italy remained the longest of any English footballer in the country in the professional era. 10 years after Hitchens moved to Inter, pioneering English women's footballer Sue Lopez became the first English footballer to play semi-professional in the women's Serie A when she joined Roma. Our fifth object is one of several from Lopez on display at the museum, a cuddly Roma mascot from her time in Italy. Lopez was inducted into the National Football Museum's Hall of Fame in 2003 and is recognised today as one of the true pioneers of the game. A fellow Hall of Famer who's had success on the continent features in our sixth object. This Shoot magazine featuring Kevin Keegan and Kenny Dalglish from December 1978. Following huge success at Liverpool, Mighty Mouse left for the Bundesliga to join the then unfashionable Hamburg. His 3 years at Hamburg were arguably the peak of his career, seeing Keegan win the Ballon d'Or twice and leading the club to the league title in 1979. Keegan's final season saw Hamburg reach the European Cup final, but it wasn't to be a fairy tale ending for King Kev, as they lost 1-0 to Brian Clough's Nottingham Forest. To this point we've focused on British players in mainland Europe, but the USA was also a popular pit stop for Football League stars in the late 70s and early 80s. Several English stars from the 1960s finished their career in the US, including Alan Ball, Gordon Banks, Jeff Hurst and Bobby Moore. Our seventh object is a programme featuring the most famous of these stateside Brits, a veteran George Best, pictured here during his time with the San Jose Earthquakes in 1980. Best would play for several clubs in the NASL and was a good marketing draw, despite being in the twilight of his career. Next to Spain and a period of British influence at the Nou Camp. Our eighth object is this Barcelona home shirt from the mid-80s, currently on display in our strip exhibition. The shirt design was worn by the Catalan Giants during Englishman Terry Venables' tenure at the club. El Tau led the club to their first La Liga title in a decade, as well as the Spanish League Cup and a European Cup final loss, both in 1986. Venables also had his own twist on the famous joke, signing an Englishman, a Scotsman and a Welshman to Barcelona, namely Gary Lineker, Steve Archibald and Mark Hughes. Sticking with football kits, our ninth object is another shirt currently on display in our strip exhibition, the famous kit of Sampdoria. The team from Genoa had a regular British influence for a decade from the mid-80s, with Trevor Francis, Graham Souness and David Platt all winning the Coppa Italia in their time with the club. Object 10 is this match ball from England's 1-0 win against Argentina at the 2002 World Cup. The same ball David Beckham blasted into the net to score the decisive goal from a penalty. A year later, Beckham would leave his club Manchester United to become the latest Galactico at Real Madrid. Beckham would win the La Liga title only once at Madrid, but his brand profile grew massively and led to an even bigger, financially speaking, move to the MLS and LA Galaxy. Beckham would stay abroad with later moves to AC Milan and PSG, his brand power off the pitch as valuable to clubs as his performances on it. Taking us almost up to date, our final object reflects the number of expat women's footballers who, like Beckham, have starred stateside. Eni Aluko's purple Atlanta Beach shirt from the 2010 WPS season. Aluko combined starring for England with 3 seasons in the US and returned abroad again in 2018, finishing her career by winning the Serie A title in Italy with Juventus. So that's our 11 museum objects on the topic of British footballers abroad. But which players and stories would you include? Let us know in the comments. Find these and thousands of other objects from the National Football Museum's collection on our website, nationalfootballmuseum.com. Thanks for listening. Please drop this video a like and subscribe to our channel for more football history content.